Hello and welcome back. At this point, I want us to take a look at how we can do sublisting or slicing using negative indices, okay? So we will continue using the code that we used in the previous video. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, copy and paste to save myself some typing, of course, and uncomment this. Okay, so what if we want to use negative indices to do the slicing from the back? First of all, I want you to remember that in all the slicing that we have done, okay, the start index is supposed to be smaller than the end index. Of course, that makes sense because if you are slicing from the front, then you want to make sure that the start index is smaller than where you want to end. Well, the same thing applies if you want to slice using negative indices, which means you are doing from the back. So even though you are doing from the back, the smallest index must come first, which is the start index, and the biggest must come next, okay? So think of this. Which of these two numbers is greater, -1 and -4? Well, if you said -1, you are right. If you said -4, you are wrong, because they belong to the left-hand side of the number line. And on the number line, if you move right, you are increasing. If you move left, you are decreasing. So if I move from -1, to get from -4, from -1, I need to move 3 steps on the left. And so -4 is actually smaller than -1. So if I want to select what is at index -4 up to -1, what I can do is I need to state that first. So -4 up to -1. And also don't forget that the last index will end at 1 less than what you selected. So let's run this program and surprise ourselves with the result. So yes, this, and you can see that I started the slicing from -4, which is -1, -2, -3, -4. So that is Batura. That is why Batura is included. But why is Banku not included? Because I'm saying it should end at -1 and Banku is at -1. However, it ends at 1 less than -1. And so you see that Banku is going to be excluded. And everything you know about leaving out a particular index, like leaving out either the start or the end index, also applies here. So let's see what happens if I leave out the end index. And then we run this program. You can see that this time around it includes Banku because it is selecting everything starting from -4 all the way to the end. Okay, let's see what's going to happen if you swap the indices. So originally I selected from -4 to -1. Let's see what happens if I do -1 to -4, which shouldn't work because the start index must be smaller than the end index. Okay, so if we run this, you're going to get an empty list because it doesn't make sense. So always remember that the start index should be the smallest one and the end index should be the bigger one. And so this is it about slicing using negative indices. Let's take a quick break and I will show you in the next video how to use an inbuilt function called range to generate a range of numbers, which you can also convert to a list using the list constructor. So I will see you very soon in that video.